What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and we got instances here of explosions happening. Folks, at this point in time, there are no coincidences. This has been happening for the last couple of years, and you're seeing it take place right before your very own eyes. Here, there's another explosion at Cuba supertanker port. And look at that major explosion. And people, you'll see a piece of news that I have to show you towards the end. But you wonder why all these energy prices are going to be skyrocketing. This is a controlled demolition, an attack on the energy grid. That's not all. Madagascar, people are protesting against power cuts and soaring prices. 75% of the population lives below the poverty line, which is less than $1.90 per day. They own nothing and they are not happy. Governments cannot afford to subsidize energy and are raising prices. And it's complete anarchy. Folks, we're heading into a new world, and the new world looks a lot like this because out of chaos, they'll bring their order and they'll control people. They want to control the populations. Okay, next video. Believe this is in Italy. Okay, I guess protesters are being watered down. The water guns. Okay, and this is in Cuba. At least 140 people injured, some critically injured after lightning hits an oil storage facility. So it wasn't just the super tanker here. It was also an oil storage facility that got hit. Folks, these are not coincidences. Apparently, lightning struck it. You might say, what if they have energy weapons that they can target things with, and it may look like lightning? Makes you think, because this is all happening at once. Okay, now this is what I was going to talk about. An article talking about how 75,000 Brits are going to stop paying power bills amid inflation storm. Well, here's the thing. These companies run on thin margins. So if thousands and thousands of people stop paying their energy bills, what's going to happen? Not good things. And it only takes a few amount of people, and then all of a sudden everyone stops paying their bills. Because right now people are only focused really on paying their rent, or on paying bills, food. Everything else is not being spent on other things. So you've got to be aware of the situation. You've got to be very wary of the consequences that come from this. But people will and are reaching a breaking point. Things are getting way too expensive. And this is something you've got to pay attention to. You've got to. Because as these energy sources are being targeted, you've got to realize what comes from that. And when people can't afford to put food on the table, there will be serious protests. And if you're in the city, it's going to be very tragic. It's going to be hard. So folks, like I said, prepare. Please prepare. I hope that these videos are serving as a way to incentivize you, to remind you that preparation is really important. And here is a video of you know, a professor at the University of New Hampshire, and he has ties, I guess, to the World Economic Forum, or is a supporter of them.
So far, globally, you are so far above the population and the consumption levels, which can be supported by this planet, that I know in one way or another it's going to come back down. So I don't hope to avoid that. I hope that it can occur in a civil way, and I mean civil in a special way, peaceful. Peace doesn't mean that everybody's happy, but it means that conflict isn't solved through violence, through force, but rather in other ways. And so that's what I hope for. That we can, I mean, the planet can support something like 1 billion people, maybe 2 billion, depending on how much liberty and how much material consumption you want to have. If you want more liberty and more consumption, you have to have fewer people. And conversely, you can have more people. I mean, we could even have 8 or 9 billion probably if we have a very strong dictatorship, which is smart. It's, unfortunately, you never have smart dictatorships. They're always stupid. So, but if you had a smart dictatorship and a low standard of living, you can have a, but we want to have freedom and we want to have a high sentence. So we're going to have 1 billion people. And we're now at 7, so we have to get back down. I hope that this can be slow, relatively slow, and that it can be done in a way which is relatively equal, so that people share the experience and you don't have a few rich, trying to force everybody else to deal with it. So those are my hopes. I mean, these are pretty pessimistic hopes, but...
Folks, I mean, you can see the principles behind those thoughts are very evil. Folks, prepare, prepare, prepare. Thank you for watching. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.